Yeah, you guys can go live. You guys can go live. Okay, here let me pull up this slides. Boom, baby! Awesome. We're going live again today. So this is Endgame. This is webinar 2 of 4. And so if you're just joining with us on live, go to asksolarmike.org. So asksolarmike.org, and in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a link where it says just click on it. And that'll actually bring you into the Zoom presentation. It'll create a much better experience because I've got a bunch of really cool slides I'm going to take and show you as we go through this presentation. It's actually in that Facebook description. If you, I think in the feed there, I actually posted the Zoom link, so you can go inside there. But so glad that you guys are able to be here today. Today we were going to dig into this end game. That, like, the whole strategy behind this end game is my goal is to give away a $1 million. Okay. And I'll show you how I'm going to go about doing that. And I will break it out and I will explain it over this 4 sequences. Right on here, this is part of the strategy of this end game. And so this is 2 of 4. This part of this, the strategy right here is how to make 6 figures and provide for your family during the coronavirus lockdown without going outside or spending any money. Because the things I know right now is everybody's like stuck and trapped in their house. They're trying to figure out how to take and to make money. And they're wondering how they're going to be able to make it when everybody's getting laid off from their jobs. And so the whole point of this thing is to be able to give you guys the ammunition or help you guys be able to step through this environment. So I want you to be able to get through this as safe as possible. And since you guys are my clients and you guys have gotten solar from me, I'm leaning in because I want to help you guys. So that's why I'm doing this presentation. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I saw this on the internet. This is a guy that was taking social distancing to kind of, he wanted to make sure that he was safe. So he put this, you see this picture right here. He's got this 6-foot radius disc that's completely around him in this crowded area. And he effectively created his own social distancing. It was hilarious. Got to create a little or show a little disclaimer. Watching this webinar, you are not going to become rich in one day. So don't like say, Mike, you promised me I'd become rich. I didn't promise you to become rich in one day. What I'm showing you is like at first when I started out on this journey I'm on, I just wanted to figure out how to make 6 figures. You know, I wanted the good life, and I knew if I was working hourly, it really capped my income, because for me to hit some of these 6-figure numbers I want, like my job would literally end up owning me. I'd have to put in so many hours to be able to make that much money. And then the thing I discovered is you don't even have security. Like people who thought they had a solid job in this environment, it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about it, are now worrying about it. And so I'm showing you how you can take and navigate this environment and come out on top instead of coming out on bottom. And so I'm going to break it down into 3 secrets. The last webinar, I'm going to do a quick recap so you can see what we discussed in this last webinar. So the last webinar, I showed you secret number 1. This is how to be the middleman and get paid without spending time or money building a business. Like that was a huge gold brick I took and I dropped on that one. Secret number 2 is how to get a commission without actually selling a product. That was another big nugget I took and I dropped. And then secret number 3 is how you can make more money in a down economy without taking on the risk of owning the business. And so if you missed any of those, if you missed that webinar last time, I dived deep into this, showing you how you could take and do that. Just go to asksolarmike.org. You can see right here on this, on my page right here, it's just / endgame video 2. And if you go there, like just down below, you can just enter your name and information in it and just say, hey, Mike, send me the links because I want that. And so that presentation is available for you to be able to watch the replay. I would go watch it fairly soon because I'm not going to keep these up forever. I'll probably end up taking these down in a few days. But I put it there so that you could see it now. And so a couple things as we take and we start on this presentation today. There's a couple myths that we've got to be able to break. And these are big myths. Like we've been trained that to be able to make money, you have to have a job. Like it's totally false. And as I go through this presentation today, you're going to see how false that is. Last time I went through it and I showed you why this is false, and I'll break it down even more today so that you can see that it's just totally not true. A lot of people feel like you have to own a business. Like, so if you don't want to be an employee, you've got to own the business to be able to make money. It's completely false. Um, uh, False belief number 3 is they think that they have to actually own the operations of a business to be able to make money. Completely false. Um, and myth number 4 is they think that they actually have to build a product to be able to make money. It's completely false. And I'll take and I'll show it to you. You'll see it. It'll stand out so crystal clear as I go through this presentation. Like if you're online, like take and send me some like loves, like send a comment, say hi, tell me where you're at so I can take and see this in the feed. If you're on Zoom, like you got a better experience on Zoom, taking just say hi or whatnot. Like I want to know if you guys are there and if you guys are alive. Are you guys there? Are we awake? You guys ready? You ready to dig into this cash 24/7? I'm literally going to break down 3 secrets, and as soon as you see this, you're going to go, aha. I suffered a bunch trying to come up with these 3 secrets, and I don't want you guys to go through that. We'll just take and we'll do it the easy way. I'll just lay it out so you can take and see it. Here you go. Secret number 1. This one's a big aha. The untapped cash source that's hidden in plain sight that almost everybody's missing, yet is worth more than any other job opportunities combined. Like as soon as I show this to you, you're gonna go, like, why didn't I see that? I'm like, I know, right? It took me forever to finally discover this. And then once I discovered, I'm like, wow, it changed my life. Secret number 2, the secret cash machine strategy that makes all my recommendations pay more and less time. Oof, as soon as you see this one, you're going to love it. Secret number 3 is how to get the exact same customers who are currently buying from other people to start buying from you instead. Like that baby is a big old gold brick nugget. You're going to love it when we go through this presentation. I'll show it to you. Okay, so let's start off with secret number 1. Okay, this is the untapped cash source that is hidden in plain sight that almost everybody's missing, yet is worth more than any job opportunities combined. Like, wow, what is it? Here's the thing I ended up discovering. This is the big mistake I see a lot of people making is you got to change the framework to change the outcome. You see this picture here on the right-hand side. Like at first glance in the upper left-hand corner, you might think that this is taking and drawing a picture of a human face, right? Until you see the progression of it, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, that's actually a dog. I know, right? So as soon as you change the framework, you can change the outcome. And so this is how I discovered that secret. Like when I was growing up, my parents always had jobs. I remember at the age of 16, I went to work for Albertsons. And, and then through the years, I always had jobs. Like that's what was shown to me, right? So the next thing that was shown to me is I needed to go to school, which I did. I went to school and I got a degree in accounting. And then the next thing I did is I went and got a job in finance. But here's where the big wall hit. This is where I ran into the cliff. When I was down in Arizona, I was working for a defense contractor. And when I moved to Utah, there wasn't a defense contractor in proximity to where I was at. So the problem I ran into is all of a sudden I jumped off a cliff and I went into a complete free fall when I moved to Utah. I had no job. Okay. So where it left me is I've got to find a new way to take and to provide for myself and my family. So here's what had happened. I was indoctrinated, and see if this is true for you guys. I was indoctrinated in the boot camp of 40 hours a week for the first probably almost 40 years, 39 years of my life until I actually started discovering this secret. And as soon as I discovered it, it's like all of a sudden everything changed, okay? So here's how I discovered the secret. So when I moved to Utah, I had a friend that had a flooring business. And he wanted to grow this flooring business. So there was some opportunities there for me to be able to take him to work with him. Okay. But I didn't know anything about selling flooring. I didn't know how to install flooring. I knew that I knew how to walk on flooring, but that's about all I knew about it. Right. And I knew I liked wood floors and I knew I liked like different types of floors, but I didn't know much about it. I had 8 kids. So I needed to if I was to get involved in sales, I had to sell a ton of it. So here's the framework. The very first thing that if you want to be able to start breaking this thing down so you can make this secret start working for you is you need a framework. You just need these little steps to be able to take and help you position yourself correctly so that you can be successful. So first thing is just find something you're familiar with, or at least something that you like or something you're familiar with. Okay. Step one. Step two is you've got to find somebody who's got operations and a processes that can deliver that particular product. And then step three is you got to find a way to position yourself as the middleman so that you get paid a referral fee or a commission. Like somebody's got to own the operations and somebody's got to be able to generate the sales. And you got to find yourself in a position in the middle where you get paid without actually having to do the work. This is how I wound up in Hawaii on vacation. Well, I was still making money, right? The idea is that I'm showing you how to make money 24/7. This is literally how I took and I did it. Okay. The way I ended up getting it wrong, and this is the way I did it wrong for years. And when I came to Utah, I had to take and do a mind shift on being able to do this right. Okay. My friend had an opportunity. It was paying $13 an hour to do installation work. So I could trade my time for that. But if I was to trade my time for that $13 an hour, it was a failure for me because I was short a significant amount of money to be able to provide for a family of 8. And so I literally had to go into it and I had to start dissecting and reversing the cash sequence to reposition myself so that I could be successful. And so the piece that I had is okay, cool. We've got product. My friend actually has fulfillment, and I can position myself between my friend can do the fulfillment of the installation and the stores could actually go out and do the selling for me. And as soon as I got those two pieces in place and I was able to position myself as that middleman, I actually ended up getting referrals and it made me 10 times more successful. Now, if you look at it, like as an hourly guy, I was an individual contributor. I was out there I would have been out on one job, doing the installation, making $13 an hour, trading my time for it. And there was not enough hours possible for me to provide for my family. And as soon as I flipped that equation and I got into it where I was actually getting a referral fee by taking and lining up somebody that had already sold the flooring and somebody that could install it, I actually positioned myself right in the middle. So in the end, I had like 4 jobs. I had 4 jobs going at a time on every given day. And basically I had 8 employees that were working for me that weren't even on my payroll. Like I didn't have the stress of the business. I didn't have the stress. I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have insurance. I didn't have to worry about any of the stuff that the owners of the business had to work. And I was actually in Hawaii enjoying it, making more money. Like I positioned myself as the middleman and I made 10 times as much. And it's like, wow, that was awesome. But the problem is it took me 38 years to figure this out. Some of you are like, aha, that's the problem. I know, right? As soon as you take and you start taking this thing using a framework, use the framework, break it up and look at it in a different sequence. Like when I showed you that picture in the beginning, like it looked like a human face, right? But the sequence was different so that it ended up coming out to be a puppy. Like change the sequence and then you change the outcome. And it took me 38 years to finally figure out how to position myself different so that I got that result. And so secret number 2, the secret cash machine strategy that makes all my recommendations pay more in less time. What you'll see, this slide right here kind of shows it all. There's commodity type products where like it's a race to the bottom. The commissions and the fees and the profits are so small that if you were to participate in it, you would really not do very well at all. And so you've got to find a way to position yourself in a product that's not a commodity, that's not going to be a race towards the bottom where you don't make any money. Like this is how I discovered that secret. So I started taking, once I kind of figured out the secret right here, right, that I showed you on the previously one, I started selling ebooks. Now an ebook, we were selling it at $37 a copy. To be able to make enough money so I could like breathe, okay, I needed to sell 270 ebooks. But when I took and I played in the flooring space, the average commission I was making on that was like $300. I only needed to sell $33 to be able to breathe. And so the difference is every flooring job was worth 10 ebooks. And so when I'm looking at this and I'm saying that here's the secret. The secret is you've got to find a product that's got a commission that's high enough that it actually makes sense for you to be involved in. I mean, if you're going to put a little bit of time into this thing had better pay you for the effort. Like right here, I put up this example right here. If you were selling socks, I don't know what the commission is on a sock, but maybe if you made a buck, okay, you would have to sell 5,000 pairs of socks just to make 5 grand. And it's like, oh my Lanta. Like, are you kidding me? I can come over here and sell a solar system, and 5 solar systems means I don't have to work a lot, or I work little to make a lot. Where on the sock side is I work a lot to make a little. It's like it's just stupid. Pick something that will allow you to get paid without putting in an enormous amount of effort to accomplish that. And so this took me 12 months of trying to sell ebooks where I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I got to figure out how to sell something that's got a higher ticket value so that I could actually make more money. So it's big nugget. Okay. So if you are watching this webinar on Facebook or Instagram, whatnot, just go to asksolarmike.org. When you go there, up in the upper right-hand corner, when you go to my website, you'll see it says live webinar. Like if you click that link, it will automatically bring you into this webinar. So you can come right into it. I don't want you to miss the slides. The slides are more valuable. And it creates a better experience for you. So just go to asksolarmike.org, and upper right-hand corner, just click on that little link, and that little link will take and it'll actually bring you into the slide presentation so I can show you the balance of it. So if you guys are on Facebook or Instagram, I will see you on this webinar. So go ahead and click there now. All right. You guys can turn that off. Good job. Okay, here we go. Secret number 3. This is how to get the exact same customers who are currently buying from other people to start buying from you instead. Like when you see this, and as soon as I lay this out to you, you're going to go like, oh my word, like how did I miss that all these years, right? Because it's like right in front of you. It's like so obvious that once you see it, you're like, ooh, I love that cheddar. Okay, here's the secret. Tony Robbins said this. He says, if you want to achieve success, all you need to do is to find a way to model those who have already succeeded. Now, like, what does Tony Robbins mean by this, and what do I mean by this? And I'll show you how I took and I discovered this. If somebody is willing to pull out their credit card or reach into their wallet and pull out cash to pay for ads, there's a chance that it might be working, that ad is. Now, where I discovered this is, so you guys know that I do solar. And so, like most of you guys, almost everybody on this call has actually bought solar from me. And that's who I'm really talking to. As soon as you're interested in solar, here's the thing that you're going to discover, okay? You're going to discover that all of a sudden, all of these things are going to show up in your Facebook feed, like solar, 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 solar. And so when I would see this, I would look at it and I'm like, oh my word, how about that? Look at that. And so I would bookmark it because I was kind of curious about it, right? So I would bookmark the page because I was curious about it. And then I'm like, wow, what are they doing, right? And so the next thing that I would do is, since I bookmarked the page, the very next thing I would do is I would actually go to the Facebook page. And so right here on this picture I'm showing you, step number 2, you can see I went to the actual Facebook page of this solar company. And then if you'll notice on the right-hand side of the page, it says page transparency. What in the world is that all about? So I clicked on it, right? Page transparency. What is it? And so as soon as I clicked on it, it brought up this other page right here. So we're on step 3 is what I call it now. And it says, go to ad library. I'm like, surely they're not going to take and show me these guys as ads, right? Because like ads, the holy grail, if you figure out what it is that people are curious about, what are they clicking on? As soon as you know the answer to that, you're like, well, wait a minute. Now I've got the secret sauce, right? So I click on it and holy Malanta, what just happened? It shows me that these guys have spent $24,069 on ads on Facebook. And then I look down below where that arrow is, and you can see all of the ads that this company has created and is currently running. What? They're showing me everything that they had created? I'm like, okay, I'm interested. So here's where the secret comes into place. Step number 5 is to look at the ad that they created and to model it. Now you can see this picture of, they got 2 girls, right? they don't look identical. Well, they look pretty identical, but they're not identical. So they're not copies, they're models of each other. And so come into this page, and you see how this page, this ad has a picture on it. How about that? You can just find a picture that's somewhat similar. Got two guys picking up a solar panel, kind of letting it down or whatnot. Okay, so I got a picture of guys with solar panels. I got some solar panels on a roof. And then I look at it, I'm like, wow, they got words on there. Okay, well, I can write my own words. I'll just find words that are similar and tell a similar story. And then I notice that it's got this link. Interesting. And so I'll say, okay, cool. So what I will do is I will make a picture similar. I will make words that are similar. I will get a link that sends them to a website. And like this website, these are the guys that have agreed to sell the product for me. I don't want to sell it, right? These guys agreed to sell the product for me. All I got to do is just send them a recommendation. And then step number 6 is you take that thing and then you go post it on your Facebook page. And so, like, people who would take and raise their hand normally to buy from the guys that they're running this ad can now see your stuff and say, hey, I'm interested in that. And since I know you, why don't I go ahead and click on it, right? And so then it goes to a page that then actually sells them. And so here's the secret. You don't have to be creative. All you got to do is model what works. You can always tell who the pioneers are, okay? They're the ones with the arrows in the back, lying down dead with their head in the dirt. What I mean by that is these guys are the first ones that came out, created it all, figured it all out, and now the rest of us can just show up and say, wow, that's how you do it and that's how you don't do it. Let me just model what does work. And the next thing you know, you start sending traffic to your own page. Next thing you know, you're getting paid. And the cool thing is like when you modeled that thing and posted it like on Facebook, it actually, you didn't have to sell it. It wasn't that difficult, and they showed you exactly how to create it. It's like as soon as you saw it, like, are you like kind of like geeking out? Like the first time I figured this out, I was kind of like what? It's like, say what? You did what? And that's how you made money? I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. I've taken this exact same thing. I have taken it, and since I had pages that converted, what I would do is I would find these ads, I would model it, I would take and create something similar, and I'd put it out. I'd put it out on the internet. In fact, I started going into what are these yard sales? I would just start posting the information inside the yard sales, and then I'd have people start calling me up, and I'd start selling solar. It's like, really? Yeah, exactly. That's the big old nugget. It took me 42 years to figure this out. It's like, duh. Like, how did you not see it? It's right there, right? And so here's examples. I want to show you examples of people that have already cashed in on this. Okay, so like Mike, for example, right here, he got solar. I put solar up on his house, and he happened to mention to a coworker that he was getting solar, and his coworker's like, wait a minute, I'm interested in that. Like you'll be shocked how many people have been very interested or curious about solar. So Mike had mentioned that that's what he was interested, that he was doing that. Next thing you know, his friend wanted me to take him to visit him, and Mike wound up with a suitcase full of cash. Like the cool thing about this is Mike, he didn't sell the product, he didn't fulfill the product, he didn't have a job, he didn't own the operations, he didn't own anything. And he was able to actually walk away with a suitcase full of cash. Like, are you getting this? This is like, same thing happened with Kathy. She got her solar installed, and somebody was like, wow, I'm interested in that, curious. So the next thing you know, they had me talk to him. Next thing you know, she's got a suitcase full of cash. And the exact same thing happened with Rance. Rance is like one of these serial money makers because he's actually done this with me several times now. And the whole point I'm showing you this is you don't have to own the operations. You don't need a job. You don't need to own the business. You don't need to take on any of the risks. You don't need to spend any of your own money. Like these opportunities like this exist out there. Any one of these opportunities right here, they could have literally posted it online among their social influence, and people would have actually bought this thing. It's like crazy. It's so easy because Facebook made it so that you could literally start printing cash without actually having to go do all the work. And so I'm going to break just down or kind of go back over the 3 secrets again. Okay. So secret number one, you guys getting this? I mean, like, are you guys getting something from this? Are you learning from it? Is it good? Is it good? Okay, cool. Love it. Okay, so let's break it down, those three secrets again. Okay, this is the untapped cash source that's hidden in plain sight that almost everyone is missing, yet it is worth more than any other job opportunities combined. This is exactly what I was saying. If you can position yourself correctly, you can actually make more money by not having to work as much. Like there's people, like as much as like there are people who they like they're so indoctrinated under the belief system that you have to have a job and work 24/7, or at least 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. They're just indoctrinated, ingrained in it. Okay, they if you can find a way where you position yourself where you don't have to do that, where you can say, hey, this is a person that makes the sales, this is a person that can take and fulfill it. You put the two together and you get paid in the interim. You can make 10 times as much money as you're making now, and you can be the one sitting in Hawaii enjoying the good life. It's right there, and people miss it. It's like when I tell that to you, it's in plain sight. But how many of you are like going, oh, you kind of had an aha moment where you're just like, wow, I get it. I see it for the first time. It's right there, right? So secret number two is the secret cash machine strategy that makes all my recommendations pay more in less time. This is where I'm talking about picking a product that actually has enough margin in it where being able to spend time getting recommendations or referrals or whatever, it's worth your time. If you're going to take and you're going to post it or whatever it is, or mention it to somebody, you want to actually be able to make some money doing this, right? And so that brings us into secret number three. This is how to get paid, or how to get the exact same customers who are currently buying from other people to start buying from you instead. And the whole secret behind this is, like, when I started bookmarking Facebook ads, I started seeing products in that I was interested in, that I was curious in. I would bookmark those ads. And then what I would do is I would go in there and I would look at the ads that these guys are running. And if these ads have been around for a long time, you can tell, and they've been running, that's a big, big clue that that ad is doing very, very good. And I could just capture that thing, and I could be creative and find places where I could post it. I could post it on my own Facebook page. Now, I didn't say copy it. I said model it, right? So if they got a picture, just go find a picture. If they got some words on it, find some words that are similar to it. If they got a link on it, which you will want to link, because that's your secret to being able to get paid. Put your link on there, and then send those people to a page where somebody else is going to take and close it. And that is literally how you can make money 24/7, like a printing press, without actually having to do all the work. Like, those are big ahas when I come across those the first time. And so this next webinar, you're not going to want to miss this. This is webinar number 3. I'm going to show you how to implement the one thing. And if you implement this one thing and you get it right, you can make 5K, 10K, or 20K a month or more, only working part-time from home. Like, would that help you a lot? Like, with this coronavirus thing going down, with businesses getting shut down and people not finding work, would it be helpful to be able to say, okay, this is how I can position myself different so that I don't have the risk of the operations. I don't have to take in to sell it because I'm not familiar with all the products on the planet. I've got to figure out how I can do social distancing. Like, all these different things that might be going on in your head. Would it be helpful to be able to figure out how to take and to do this? I just hit my laptop. So the next webinar, it's going to be, today's Tuesday, right? So the next webinar is going to be Thursday at 6 p.m. And so you can go to the site right here, bookmark the site. So go to www.asksolarmike.org/endgame video 3. So asksolarmike.org/endgame video 3. So bookmark that page so that you've got it. It'll be this Thursday at 6 p.m. While you're there, like, take and shoot over to that page right now. On there, I've got a comment section, and I've got the survey on there. Like, these webinars are designed to help you. And take and go in there and put your questions in. Like, what question is it? What question you want me to answer? What would be the most helpful for me to be able to explain or to go through and to show it to you that would actually help you the most? Like this webinar is designed to help you. Like on the whole, I've only notified my clients that I'm doing this. And if you're not one of my clients, it's okay. I welcome you to come in, because most people have the exact same problem right now, where they're trying to figure out how to take and to provide for their families in this coronavirus lockdown environment. And the goal of this is to show you like systematic steps of things that you could take and do and to implement. Like I remember when I first moved to Utah, I was like when I literally just quit my job. Okay, I worked there. It was like I was working there 13 years at this at a defense contractor. I had this stable income. Recessions would come. I didn't even notice it. Like I knew it was there, but it never impacted me personally because my income was always solid. And and but I guess it might not have been as solid now. This coronavirus thing might have changed that. But nevertheless, um, like I had to learn this the hard way. I was terrified. I remember sitting on the floor, just rocking back and forth, trying to figure out what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And the thing was just the thoughts just kept on going in my head. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to make this work? How am I going to make this work? How am I going to turn this around? How am I going to make enough money to provide for my family? My wife was like, go get a job. Go get a job anywhere. I'm like, hun, I can't do that. I just can't do that. And so I have to find these opportunities and trying to find a way to provide for my family. Like when you have 8 kids, like you can't, opportunities that may have worked at one point in time in your life will no longer work. It just will no longer work. And so you got to think outside the box and find different opportunities that will allow you to step into your strength to be able to make more money. And like literally these things that I showed you are how I was able to make 10 times of what I was expecting. And since then, all I've done is gone on and started scaling it up and scaling it up and scaling it up. In this next video, I'll break down more of this so you can see the whole plans that I've been laying out, and I'm giving you what I feel is super valuable information that will help you be able to weather the storm. Like I don't think this coronavirus problem is going away in a week or a month. I think this thing's going to set in and it's going to be here for a while. And if it is, let's just be prepared. So go to asksolarmike.org/endgame video 3. Right there, put your email address in there. Answer the questions. Just let me know what would be helpful to be able to explain. I've gone through and I've explained a lot of these secrets to you that would help you out tremendously. But like, I'm not always 100% clear that I explain things clearly. And so feel free to go there, take and let me know. I'll also send you the link so that you can have access to the previous training if you missed it. And then I wouldn't want you to miss the next one, so I'll keep you up to date on it. So go there now, asksolarmike.org/endgame video 3. Leave a comment, ask some questions, and I will see you guys this upcoming Thursday at 6 p.m. All right, signing out.